The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the next 3 weeks, March 23rd through April 10th, are packed with dangerous schemes, shocking photos, and rivalries that push everyone to the edge. It's going to be a roller coaster of emotions, and here's what I'm thinking might go down. The week of March 23 to 27 kicks off with Ivy Forrester defending her moves with Electra Forrester and Will Spencer, while Melissa Dillon's outrage simmers in the background. But I'm not convinced Dillon knows enough to actually spill Ivy's secrets to Will. From what she knows so far, it seems smarter for her to keep quiet, though I could be wrong. Dillon might convince herself she can make Will happier than Electra, while secretly hoping Ivy's hunch is right, that Electra belongs with RJ Forrester. Speaking of RJ, he'll charm Electra at the Forrester mansion, with some poolside fun and playful selfies. You can bet Will is going to see those pics and simmer with jealousy. Meanwhile, Dillon will swoop in to console Will, reminding him he's got options. Their closeness could lead to some serious makeout sessions, and maybe even more intimate moments. Daphne Rose will be on a similar path with Carter Walton, but she's hiding something big. Will Carter pry the truth out of her? And what would he even think about the whole Ivy-Will-Electra mess? My guess is he'd push Daphne to come clean if he knew everything. On a sweeter note, hope Logan Spencer and Liam Spencer will enjoy some cozy newlywed time. They're still in that honeymoon bubble after their remarriage, so I'm curious how long that bliss lasts. Then there's the spicy Cliff House drama. Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes can't fight their attraction any longer, heading toward a full-blown affair. But just when things heat up, Sheila Sharp might show up. Will she discover the truth, or will Taylor manage to cover her tracks? During the week of March 30th and April 3rd, we'll likely see the fallout from any Cliff House chaos. Steffi Forrester Finnegan could have a meltdown if she finds out Taylor and Deacon got involved under her roof. She's already warned Taylor to stay away from Deacon, and now the stakes are higher. Will Steffi push Taylor out of her life completely, or will Taylor still get access to Steffi's kids? From what I see, Steffi's protective instincts are going to make this messy. And of course, the fashion world drama isn't going anywhere. Katie Logan Spencer and Brooke Logan Forrester are gearing up for more power plays, with April 6-10 promising a heated sister showdown. Bill Spencer predicts the full collection debut will eclipse the mini one, but Ridge Forrester might have other plans that could sabotage the event and rile Bill up. The longer this feud drags on, the harder it'll be for Brooke and Katie to repair their damaged bond. And knowing Katie, she's not going to take Brooke's attacks lying down. So, buckle up. Between the love triangles, family secrets, and fashion feuds, the next 3 weeks of B&B are shaping up to be explosive. There are so few things in life you can truly count on these days. The sun will rise, prices will go up, and Brooke from The Bold and the Beautiful will never quit Ridge. Sure, they'll have their little detours, Ridge running back to Taylor, Brooke exploring another Forrester, but in the end, they always come back together. You'd think anyone getting involved with either of them would realize that inevitability, but I guess hope really does spring eternal. Why is Brooke so utterly incapable of letting go? Catherine Kelly Lang shed some light on that in an interview with Finland's Yle TV1 during the show's 39th anniversary. According to Lang, Ridge entered Brooke's life nearly 40 years ago, and it was love at first sight. From the moment she went to the Forrester house to cater with her mom, and she turns around and, I still remember that scene. It's just love at first sight, Lang recalled. She makes it perfectly clear that was it for Brooke. Ridge has occupied her thoughts ever since, and he still does. Decades of drama, heartbreak, and wild storylines later, and Brooke simply can't quit him. He's never left her head, and at this point, I'd bet my last dime he never will. Whether or not Ridge deserves that much space in her life, that's a whole other debate. But if you want to laugh, check out the full interview on YouTube. They even dive into the burning question of whether Ridge Forrester is a narcissist. Spoiler, the discussion is just as entertaining as the drama itself. At Forrester, Dillon is fuming in the design office. She's had enough. She deserves to know what Ivy is scheming, especially since it drags her into the mess. Ivy, of course, is unapologetic, smug as ever. Dillon recalls Daphne saying she'd manipulated the entire situation and demands the truth. What did you do? Ivy tries to play it off, but Dylan doesn't back down. Only when Dylan threatens to confront Daphne herself does Ivy spill the beans. It's about a letter Electra wrote to Will, one he never received. Dylan's sharp as ever, because of you. Meanwhile, in the showroom, Electra is having a meltdown with RJ, lamenting that her world has been turned upside down. RJ gently reminds her she's not alone before slipping out. Then Will shows up. Electra immediately unloads on him about Dylan working there and him doing nothing to stop it. He's clearly not in the mood for her blame game, and she wails, "What about me?" Across the office, Daphne and Carter are in a more intimate discussion about the joys of trying for a baby. Carter senses something's on her mind. Daphne admits it's about Will and Electra, explaining, "Ivy made it my problem." RJ, of course, interrupts before she can give full details. Inevitably, their conversation spirals into gossip about Will and Electra, with RJ trashing his cousin. Later, alone, Daphne tells Carter their relationship has been sabotaged. He shrugs it off. "Let the drama play out. We can't interfere." Cue the baby-making app, and they dash off. Back in the showroom, Electra is still venting about Dylan and Will's lack of action. She accuses him of keeping her around on purpose. Will insists he's not. Electra can't help herself. "When did you stop loving me?" He swears he didn't, and just as things start to get real, RJ swoops in to ruin the moment, again. Meanwhile, Dylan uncovers the cruel genius of Ivy in the design office. Not only did Ivy intercept Will's letter, she also nabbed his necklace and made it look like he was breaking up with Electra. Dylan goes ballistic, calling her out for being cruel. Ivy, ever the self-righteous schemer, says she was protecting her niece, and even admits she pushed Electra toward RJ. Dylan explodes. Ivy is wrecking Electra's one true love, all in the name of love. Ivy just scoffs, confident she knows best. Dylan threatens to tell Will if Ivy doesn't stop. In the showroom, RJ takes his jab at Will, comparing him to his father. The Spencer warns him off, but RJ escalates, accusing Will of sleeping with Dylan. Electra intervenes, and RJ, ever the charmer, invites her over for lemon bars at the mansion tonight. She's non-committal, so he leaves. Will, clearly annoyed, grumbles, "Is that what you want?" Electra says he's been a good friend. Will scoffs, "Enjoy your evening. Have a lemon bar for me." Electra storms off, leaving him to brood. Back in the design office, Dylan declares her intentions. Electra and Will would still be together if not for Ivy. "I'm telling them everything," she proclaims. Ivy shuts her down immediately. "Not one word, Missy." She warns Dylan to keep quiet, especially about the letter, and reminds her of how good life is right now. A fancy job, a gorgeous new apartment. Ivy's manipulations get nastier. She implies that Dylan has feelings for Will, who seems to reciprocate, and suggests maybe she should just take the win. After all, Electra deserves someone more impressive, like RJ. Then Ivy drops the ultimate threat. Dare to speak about the letter or her schemes, and Dylan will not only lose her job at Forrester, but might never work in fashion again. Have I made myself clear, Miss Dylan? Don't ever say a word about me or that letter, especially to Will or Electra, or you'll live to regret it. It's wild to think that if Capital hadn't taken a nosedive in the ratings back in the mid-1980s, we might never have had The Bold and the Beautiful. But of course, Capital did falter, and CBS suddenly found itself open to new ideas from daytime heavyweights like Paul Rauch and Claire Labine. Ultimately, the network went with a pitch from William J. and Lee Phillip Bell, the masterminds behind their other powerhouse soap, The Young and the Restless. And what a choice that turned out to be. From its first episode, The Bold and the Beautiful carved out respectable ratings, set against the glamorous backdrop of Los Angeles fashion scene. By the early 90s, it had surged even higher, thanks in part to its first crossover with Young and Restless, one that sent the infamous Sheila Carter westward, bringing her brand of chaos to a new, unsuspecting city. Over the decades, the show has introduced one unforgettable character after another. Its trophy shelf could probably use an extra wing. It's won more daytime Emmys than you could count, And it's not just popular in the US, it's become the most watched soap in the world. But for those who love the show, it's never just about ratings or awards. It's about the cast. Take Don DeMonnet, for example, who's been playing Dollar Bill Spencer since, well, right after his long stint as Brad Carlton on Young and Restless ended. To come on as a character who was something of an island and have them essentially create an entire family around him, that was important, he says. On a soap opera, characters need connections. You need to be part of something bigger. I've been incredibly fortunate, he adds. This show is iconic. It's been my great joy and my privilege to be a part of it. And his on-screen son, Clifton, reflects similarly. It's an incredible and humbling thing to be part of something that has spanned nearly 4 decades. It's something I never, ever take for granted. The next 2 weeks on The Bold and the Beautiful promise some eyebrow-raising drama. From secret rendezvous to family feuds, things are heating up at Forrester Creations. I was wondering how some of these storylines would play out. And honestly, it's shaping up to be a wild ride. From March 23rd to 27, fans will see Melissa Dillon confront Ivy Forrester. I think Ivy's shameless defense, claiming she knows what's best for Elektra, might actually put Dillon in a moral dilemma. Watching Will Spencer get hurt by all of this is going to tug at Dillon's conscience, and it might even give her a chance to stop being Elektra's prime target. Meanwhile, Elektra is set for a dinner date with RJ Forrester. I have a feeling Ivy is quietly orchestrating this meeting, maybe even giving RJ some tips on how to make Elektra feel truly seen. Later, Dillon and RJ share a midnight swim, and with Will's beach house right there, it's not hard to imagine some awkward, or maybe heartbreaking moments if Will happens to see Elektra cozying up to RJ. Over at the romantic front, Deacon Sharp gets steamy with Taylor Hayes. But of course, there's a rude interruption. Sheila Carter Sharp finally discovers her husband's affair, and I can only imagine the chaos that will follow. Meanwhile, newlyweds Daphne Rose Walton and Carter Walton are enjoying wedded bliss, though hints suggest they may face fertility challenges. Looking ahead to the week of March 30th, the tension between Brooke Logan Forrester and Katie Logan Spencer continues. Brooke seems determined to come out on top, while Bill Spencer is pushing hard to use Eric Forrester's designs, regardless of the fallout. Dillon's story is also heating up. She's growing closer to Will, and with the knowledge that Ivy is the reason Will and Elektra haven't reunited, it seems only a matter of time before she spills the truth. I can't help but wonder if Elektra will believe that her own aunt could manipulate her like this, especially after what happened with Remy Price. That tension alone is enough to keep me glued to the screen. In my opinion, these next 2 weeks could be some of the most intriguing yet, with love, deception, and family drama colliding in classic Bold and the Beautiful fashion. The latest Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that Brooke Logan Forrester might be pushing her quest for revenge against Katie Logan Spencer a bit too far. Katie has certainly tested Brooke's patience, especially after stealing the Logan name and keeping Eric Forrester's designs. And now, Brooke seems determined to dismantle Katie's fashion empire, maybe even shake up her relationship with Bill Spencer while she's at it. In the March 16th episode, Brooke dropped some pretty ominous hints, trying to plant seeds of doubt in Katie's mind about Bill. She questioned whether Bill would stick by Katie when trouble hits, which to me feels like a warning sign that things could get messy fast. It's clear Katie hasn't forgotten Brooke's past betrayals involving Bill. That old resentment could make her vulnerable, and Brooke might use that to her advantage as she plots her revenge. Could Brooke try to lure Bill away from her sister? Maybe as a way to prove she still has it, or just to make Katie suffer? B&B could take this storyline in several directions. Ridge Forrester might even get dragged into the plan, perhaps after some convincing. I can imagine Brooke pitching the idea of shaking up both Bill and Katie by sabotaging their remarriage. After all, if Katie and Bill aren't together romantically, Brooke could argue they're no longer a fashion power couple either. This would be the fastest way to crush Katie's ambitions while forcing her to confront the consequences. Brooke could potentially ruin Katie's career along with her love life, if she plays her cards right. And of course, there's the classic Brooke temptation angle. seducing Bill just enough to prove he might cheat on Katie again. She could stop short of crossing any final lines, keeping Ridge happy. But what if she actually falls for Bill this time? On the flip side, maybe Bill stays faithful, showing he's truly changed. That wouldn't be the most scandalous twist, but it's worth considering after all he's done to win Katie back. One thing is certain, the Brooke versus Katie feud is heating up, and Bold and the Beautiful spoilers promise plenty of unexpected twists. I wouldn't want to blink during the next few episodes. Tuesday, March 24th, on The Bold and the Beautiful, sparks fly and secrets unravel. Daphne and Carter are caught up in a dreamy, romantic bubble, imagining their future together as they savor the early joys of married life. Meanwhile, Dylan and Will celebrate a milestone, Dylan's first day at Forrester Creations, marking a fresh chapter for both of them. But as always, drama isn't far behind. Ivy has been maneuvering her way into Electra and Will's relationship, stirring tension at every turn. With Dylan living under the same roof as Will, Electra's unease only grew, and Ivy seized the moment. Claiming to have witnessed something through a window while Electra was away on a business trip with Steffi, Ivy planted seeds of doubt that would have immediate consequences. Electra didn't waste time acting on her suspicion. She broke things off with Will, and in the midst of their separation, shared a surprising kiss with RJ. At the same time, Dylan crossed a line with Will, adding yet another layer of complication. Even when Electra and Will eventually tried to reconcile, she wasn't ready to move past everything that happened. Her focus remained on uncovering the full story. Caught in the middle of this tangled web, RJ found himself dealing with escalating tensions, especially as he struggled with Will. Electra also had to process her frustration when she learned that Steffi had offered Dylan a position at Forrester. Steffi finally intervened, drawing firm boundaries with both Ivy and Electra, while Will's simmering frustration with his parents only added to the chaos. Meanwhile, Daphne took matters into her own hands, confronting Ivy after uncovering her secret. As she navigates this confrontation, Daphne is also adjusting to life as a newlywed, building a new chapter with Carter that promises both romance and challenges. Tuesday's episode is a mix of romance, tension, and revelations, a perfect example of why you can never underestimate the drama at Forrester Creations. On the March 18th episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, the drama hit a boiling point when Dylan confronted Ivy about stealing Electra's letter to Will. That makes Dylan the second person to uncover Ivy's secret, after Daphne. And I can't help but wonder, when these two truth-tellers cross paths, will they team up to take Ivy down? Daphne was the first to catch on to Ivy's scheming. She discovered that Ivy had orchestrated Will and Electra's breakup, and even stole Electra's heartfelt letter. Daphne didn't hold back in calling Ivy out for it. Now Dylan has walked into the mix, confronting Ivy herself. Daphne may have left the scene, but it feels inevitable that the two women will collide at Forrester Creations. I'm imagining them hatching a plan together, standing up against Ivy's manipulations. Dylan is going to need someone who won't back down, and Daphne fits that role perfectly. In an interview with Soaps.com, Alexis Bullock, who plays Dylan, revealed that her character is intimidated by Ivy. And honestly, I get it. Ivy is a Forrester, a powerhouse in Los Angeles. While Dylan is still an outsider trying to find her footing, Ivy has money, influence, and connections to everyone Dylan cares about. She's successful, confident, and used to getting her way. So what can Dylan do? She's already learned that confronting Ivy head-on could backfire spectacularly. Ivy has tried blackmail before, but Dylan didn't cave. I'm genuinely curious. What's Ivy going to pull next? Bullock hinted that Dylan isn't completely scared of Ivy, which makes me think she's ready to expose the truth. Dylan wants to clear her name after Ivy falsely accused her of things she didn't do, but she also knows timing is everything. Going after Ivy too soon could make things worse. And there's the tricky part. Who would actually believe her? Electra didn't when Dylan tried to defend her version of events. Confiding in Will could be an option, but he's already tangled in too many secrets himself. That's why teaming up with Daphne makes so much sense. Daphne speaks her mind, Dylan is determined, and together, they might just have the perfect combination to finally bring Ivy down. The question now is, will these two finally join forces? And if they do, what chaos will Ivy unleash in response? I, for one, can't wait to see it play out. Ivy has finally embraced her dark side on The Bold and the Beautiful, and honestly, it's been wild to watch. The jewelry designer, once the sweet, good girl, has turned into quite the schemer, all in the name of keeping Elektra and Will apart. I didn't realize just how far she'd go. Her antics have fans buzzing and even drawing comparisons to one of B&B's most infamous villains. To me, it feels like Ivy has officially said goodbye to her innocent persona. She's stepping into the role of B&B's next big antagonist, and she's making life miserable for Elektra and Will. Case in point, thanks to Ivy's meddling, Elektra ended things with Will after being convinced he was acting inappropriately with Dylan. And if you think that's the end, think again. Ivy isn't stopping there. She hid Elektra's heartfelt letter to Will and even snuck Will's necklace into Elektra's office, making it seem like he was dumping her. Watching all this unfold, I was thinking, wow, this is some serious scheming. Now, Ivy's turning her attention to RJ, convinced he's the better man for Elektra. She's actively playing matchmaker, and it's fascinating to watch this transformation, from doting aunt to calculating manipulator. What's really interesting is how Ivy's lack of remorse and her sneaky maneuvers are reminding viewers of Sheila Carter. On Reddit, fans are already calling her the next Sheila. One comment I saw really stuck with me. If this woman doesn't scare you, what will? She's a Sheila in the making. Another fan added, I had that exact same thought when I saw her do that stare. Yes, I can see her being like Sheila. Of course, to be clear, Ivy isn't on Sheila's level yet. Sheila's crimes were far more extreme. But still, watching Ivy's manipulations makes me wonder if she's on her way there. Things could get even messier. When Daphne caught Ivy hiding Elektra's letter, Ivy quickly warned her to stay quiet. So far, Daphne has kept her lips sealed, but I have a feeling she won't stay silent forever. If Daphne slips up, Ivy's whole scheme could unravel. Elektra and RJ's budding romance could be over, and Ivy's relationship with her niece could be in shambles too. I'm starting to think that if Ivy feels trapped, she might get desperate. And desperate, Ivy could mean trouble for Daphne, who might end up being her next victim. Watching Ivy evolve like this has been fascinating. I think we're witnessing the rise of a true B&B schemer, and I can't wait to see just how far she'll go. In the March 23rd episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Dylan found herself at a crossroads. She could either seize the chance to romance Will or risk exposing Ivy's secret about Elektra's letter. At Forrester Creations, Dylan confronted Ivy, wanting answers. Ivy initially deflected with sarcasm, suggesting Dylan ask Daphne what really happened. But then, with a mix of guilt and bravado, Ivy admitted to stealing Elektra's letter and even hinted at the drama with Will's necklace. Dylan reminded her that Will had seen Elektra kiss RJ, but Ivy quickly insisted she didn't orchestrate that moment, though something tells me it probably won't be the last. Dylan called Will the love of Elektra's life, and Ivy laughed it off, still convinced her ballet act was innocent. But Dylan wasn't buying it. She accused Ivy of trying to control Elektra's romantic life, to which Ivy responded that she was only trying to protect her from the wrong guy, the kind who hurts you repeatedly. That line sounded suspiciously like Ivy was holding a grudge against the Spencer men. For Ivy, this is personal. She doesn't approve of Elektra and Will being together. She'd rather see Elektra with RJ, arguing that Will has hurt her too many times, even though most would say Will has been nothing but faithful. But for Ivy, that's not enough. She wants Elektra with RJ, and she wants Dylan to stay quiet about the letter. And that's when Ivy made her offer. Ivy encouraged Dylan to go after Will, sensing her feelings for him. According to Ivy, Elektra deserves someone great like RJ, implying Dylan shouldn't feel guilty about exploring her own heart. Dylan admitted she wasn't going to take advantage, but the situation still put her in a precarious spot. Ivy made it clear that silence would benefit Dylan, while speaking up could make her feel unwelcome at Forrester and in the broader fashion world. So now the question looms, will Dylan pursue Will, Or will she expose Ivy's secret? Tensions are rising in Los Angeles, and the drama at Forrester Creations is only getting hotter. With Ivy watching every move, things are about to get messy, and deliciously so. I was thinking about how The Bold and the Beautiful has truly stood the test of time. It's hard to believe it's been on the air for 39 years. To celebrate this milestone, the show is giving fans something they've been dreaming about for ages: a global streaming app. I didn't realize just how many episodes B&B has accumulated. BBTV, the new platform, will feature 37 full seasons, which is over 9,000 episodes, and when season 38 becomes available, it will be added as well. For the current season, B&B has a deal with Paramount Plus, so fans can stay up to date while also diving into the archives. What I find fascinating is that BBTV isn't just about the old episodes. It's a treasure trove of behind-the-scenes moments and exclusive content that we've never seen before. Everything from cast auditions and party footage to intimate interviews. For example, you can watch Catherine Kelly Lang's 1987 audition for Brooke, which gives this incredible peek into how she became such an iconic character. The app also includes the 2016 documentary Becoming Bold and Beautiful, which followed the cast during filming in Monte Carlo. I think it's really cool that BBTV is positioning itself as more than just a streaming service. It's like a love letter to fans, celebrating over 3 decades of character development, storytelling, and the community that has grown around the show. Brad Bell, the executive producer and son of the show's creators, described it as honoring both the legacy of the show and its global fan base. And it makes sense. B&B has been filming in so many international locations that it really has become a worldwide phenomenon. BBTV officially launches on March 23, 2026, in honor of the soap's 39th anniversary. It's available on streaming devices, and to me, it feels like the perfect way for fans to relive the drama, the romance, and all those unforgettable moments. On The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers are hinting that Bill Spencer is reaching the end of his rope with Will Spencer's stubborn grip on his role at Forrester Creations. Bill has been dreaming of having Will fully invested in the Spencer family business, but how far will he go to make that happen? Tensions boiled over recently when Will lashed out at Bill, reminding him of the pain he felt when Liam Spencer nearly slipped away. Will asked the question that cuts to the heart of their conflict. Does Bill really want to push him away? Katie stepped in, shutting down the fight before it could escalate, refusing to let the Spencers descend into the kind of ongoing chaos the Logans are navigating right now. But Will's remarks about those Forresters were telling. To me, it hints that he might be persuaded to leave Forrester Creations under the right circumstances. Sure, Will doesn't want RJ Forrester to have the upper hand, but dealing with constant workplace tension is bound to wear him down. Melissa Dillon is about to face her own version of that misery. She's being forced into daily confrontations with Electra Forrester, and it's easy to imagine her patience wearing thin. Dillon needs the job for the paycheck, but with Electra and Ivy Forrester constantly criticizing and creating chaos, it's going to be a stressful environment. There's more. Dillon may have another reason to consider leaving Forrester Creations. After overhearing Ivy's schemes surrounding her breakup, she could feel motivated to keep Will out of harm's way. And if that means nudging him out of Forrester, she might just take it. This is where Bill's strategic mind could come into play. He may start seeing Dillon as the perfect ally, someone who can gently steer Will away from Forrester. With their growing connection, Dillon might just be the key to convincing him to abandon the Forrester world entirely. Imagine Bill offering Dillon a lucrative incentive, double, maybe even triple the salary, if she can get Will to resign. If anyone has a chance of persuading Will to leave Forrester Creations and step into the Spencer empire, it's Dillon. With Bill's promise of a better position and bigger rewards, she could be the ultimate agent of change, and the person who finally brings Will home to the family business where he truly belongs. I was thinking about Monday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, and honestly, it's shaping up to be one explosive start to the week. The tension between Will and Electra is about to boil over, and I didn't realize just how messy Ivy's manipulations have become. This week, it's all coming to a head. Last week, Dillon stumbled into the tail end of Ivy's heated conversation with Daphne Rose. She didn't catch every detail, but she pieced together enough to know that Ivy was meddling to keep Will and Electra apart. So naturally, Dylan demanded answers. And from what I've seen in the spoilers, Monday delivers exactly that. Ivy is finally going to confess. To me, the most fascinating part is Dylan's dilemma. Once she learns that Ivy literally swiped Electra's letter before Will could even read it, Dylan is faced with a moral crossroads. Does she do the right thing and reveal Ivy's sabotage, potentially reuniting Will and Electra? Or does she stay quiet, driven by her own feelings for Will, letting Ivy's secret keep the couple apart? I have a feeling Dylan's heart and her conscience are about to have a serious tug-of-war. Meanwhile, the Will-Electra showdown is going to be something. For some reason, Will hasn't confronted Electra about her kiss with RJ yet, but it looks like the truth will finally surface. And here's the kicker. Electra was outraged about Will and Dylan's post-breakup kiss, yet she's been less than honest about her own fling with RJ. I'm curious whether she'll recognize the hypocrisy or keep floating in her Forrester fantasy bubble. Even with all the chaos, love is still tangled on the canvas. Monday sets the stage for intense drama. Dylan celebrates her first day at Forrester with Will, Electra, and RJ share another passionate moment, and Ivy continues her behind-the-scenes scheming. She's clearly working hard to push her niece and RJ closer together, but now her whole plan hinges on Dylan and Daphne keeping her secrets. One slip and everything could implode. Honestly, I'm on the edge of my seat thinking about it. Monday isn't just a regular episode. It's the kind of explosive start to the week that could reshape all the relationships in Los Angeles. Will Will and Electra reconcile? Can Dylan resist the temptation to manipulate the situation for her own heart? And how far will Ivy go before her secrets finally catch up to her? My gut tells me things are about to get very messy, and I wouldn't want to be in anyone's shoes. Sean Kanan, known to the bold and the beautiful fans as the fiery Deacon Sharp, has built a career on intensity, both in soap opera showdowns and on-screen fight scenes. But beyond the drama of daytime television, Kanan has long admired one of the ultimate action stars, Chuck Norris. Reflecting on Norris's passing, Kanan shared, "We not only lost a legend, we lost an exceptional human being." When I was around 12, my father attended a show business convention where Chuck was signing autographs. My dad brought me home a signed photo, and I was completely in awe. The admiration didn't end there. 2 decades later, Kanan got the chance to work alongside Norris on Walker, Texas Ranger. "From the moment I arrived on set, Chuck went out of his way to welcome me and make me feel special," Kanan recalled. "They say, never meet your idols, but Chuck was the exception. That experience remains one of the most memorable of my life. Rest in peace, my friend. We are all better for having had you touch our lives." Fans chimed in with love for those iconic fight scenes. One Twitter user wrote, "I loved your fighting scenes with him on Walker, Texas Ranger. You guys nailed it." Kanan's own soap opera history is filled with memorable clashes. As Deacon, perhaps most infamous was his February 2022 showdown with Ridge over Brooke. The drama began when Deacon pranked Brooke on New Year's Eve, sleeping with her while she unknowingly drank champagne that Sheila had secretly doctored. When Ridge found out, the resulting knockdown brawl became one of B&B's talk-of-the-town moments. Interestingly, Kanan wasn't the only soap star to cross paths with Norris. B&B alum Laura Lee Bell appeared in a 2-part episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, playing Kim, Norris's TV niece, and Cherie J. Wilson, known as April Stevens Ewing on Dallas, starred alongside Norris as Alex Cahill. Even former B&B leading man Ron Moss paid tribute on social media. Chuck Norris is a sweet, sweet person, as real as can be. I've loved all the memes about him and his toughness. He was a skilled martial artist with a heart of gold, sending love and blessings to his family and to Chuck, wherever you are. For Kanan and many others in the entertainment world, Chuck Norris wasn't just a martial arts icon. He was a mentor, a generous spirit, and a reminder of the lasting impact one person can have on the lives of so many.